Here's a harsh truth. Right now, there's a woman out there who's completely ignoring you. Maybe she's your ex. Maybe she's that girl from work who used to laugh at your jokes. Maybe she's someone you thought you had a real connection with. She's not responding to your texts. She's not liking your posts. She's acting like you don't exist and it's eating you alive. You're checking your phone every 5 minutes. You're analyzing every word of your last conversation. You're wondering if you should send one more message just to clarify things. But what if I told you that being ignored by her is actually the greatest gift she could give you? What if her silence isn't rejection? It's redirection toward the most powerful version of yourself you've never met. Today, we're flipping the script on what it means to be ignored, and I'm going to show you how to transform that pain into unstoppable personal power. Let me guess what's happening in your head right now. You're replaying every conversation, every moment, trying to figure out where you went wrong. You're questioning your worth, your attractiveness, your entire approach to relationships. You're thinking, maybe I wasn't interesting enough. Maybe I came on too strong. Maybe I should have played it cooler. But here's what no one tells you. You didn't get ignored because you weren't enough. You got ignored because you forgot who you were in the process of trying to win someone else. The man she's ignoring isn't your true self. It's the diluted, approval-seeking version that shows up when you put someone else's validation above your own self-worth. What I'm about to share with you isn't about getting her back. It's about getting yourself back. And once you do that, everything changes, including how she sees you. First, let's address the elephant in the room. This hurts like hell, and that's completely normal. The reason her silence cuts so deep isn't because you're weak, it's because you cared. You invested emotionally. You opened yourself up. And when someone dismisses that investment, it feels like they're dismissing your entire worth as a person. But here's where most guys get it wrong. They try to numb the pain. They distract themselves with video games, alcohol, or immediately jumping into dating apps to find a quick ego boost. That's emotional band-aid behavior, and it keeps you stuck. Instead, I want you to do something radical. Feel it fully. Let that rejection burn through you like fire, because pain is pure energy, and energy can be redirected. Here's your new framework. Every time you feel that sting of being ignored, you use it as fuel for one specific action. Hit the gym. Work on that business idea. Learn that skill you've been putting off. Clean your apartment. Call your parents. You're not trying to forget her. You're using the energy she created to build a version of yourself she's never seen. Think of it this way. She inadvertently became your personal trainer for life. Every time you think about her silence, you get stronger, sharper, more focused. Action step. Right now, identify one area of your life that you've been neglecting. Every time you feel that rejection pain, you work on that area for 20 minutes. Turn her indifference into your excellence. Here's a truth bomb. You cannot convince someone of your value through words, actions, or grand gestures. Value isn't something you prove. It's something you embody. Right now, you're probably thinking about all the ways you could show her what she's missing. Maybe you want to post that gym selfie, share that success story, or craft the perfect "I'm doing amazing" text. Stop. Right there. The moment you try to prove your worth to someone who didn't recognize it, you're operating from a position of weakness. You're essentially saying, please see me the way I want to be seen. But attractive, high-value people don't beg for recognition. They become so undeniably valuable that recognition becomes inevitable. Here's what becoming looks like in real life. Physically, you start treating your body like a high-performance machine. Not to impress her, but because you respect yourself enough to be healthy and strong. Mentally, you consume content that challenges you. You read books that expand your perspective. You have conversations that make you think deeper, emotionally. You develop the kind of inner stability that doesn't fluctuate based on who's paying attention to you. Your mood doesn't depend on her response time. Professionally, you pursue excellence in your work not for external validation, but because mediocrity is no longer acceptable to you. Socially, you build genuine connections with people who appreciate your authentic self, rather than chasing people who are lukewarm about you. The man she ignored was seeking approval. The man you're becoming creates his own validation through consistent action and personal growth. I know you've been asking yourself the wrong questions. Why did she lose interest? Why wasn't I enough? Why did she choose him over me? These questions are psychological quicksand. They keep you stuck analyzing the past instead of building your future. Here's the mindset shift that changes everything. Stop asking, "Why me?" and start asking, "What now?" instead of, "Why did she stop responding?" Ask, "What can I build with all this free time and mental energy?" instead of, "Why wasn't I good enough?" Ask, "What areas of myself can I develop that I've been ignoring?" instead of, "Why did she choose someone else?" Ask, "What kind of man do I want to become regardless of who's watching?" This isn't just positive thinking. It's redirecting your mental energy from analysis paralysis to forward momentum. Here's a practical exercise. For the next 30 days, every time you catch yourself spiraling into why questions about her, immediately pivot to planning one specific action you can take today to improve your life. She stopped responding to your texts? Use that time to finally start that side business. She's posting pictures with other guys? Use that emotional energy to hit a personal record in the gym. You're not avoiding your feelings. You're channeling them into building a life so compelling that her opinion becomes irrelevant. The psychological principle: when you shift from reactive thinking to proactive planning, you reclaim your personal power. You stop being a victim of circumstances and become the architect of your own experience. Here's something that might blow your mind. Her ignoring you wasn't about you not being enough. It was about her not recognizing the version of you that you were showing her. Think about it. When she first showed disinterest, what version of yourself were you operating from? Were you the confident, purpose-driven man living his best life? Or were you the guy who was a little too available, a little too eager, a little too invested in her approval? Her silence isn't a message that says you're not worthy. It's a mirror that shows you weren't operating from your highest self. And that's actually incredible news, because it means you have complete control over changing the reflection. The uncomfortable truth: most of us present a watered-down version of ourselves when we're trying to win someone over. We hide our edges, suppress our opinions, and become overly accommodating. She didn't reject the real you. She lost interest in the people-pleasing version of you. Here's the liberation. You don't need to become someone else to be attractive. You need to become more authentically yourself. The real work. What parts of your personality did you tone down around her? What dreams or goals did you put on the back burner while focusing on her? What boundaries did you compromise to keep her comfortable? What interests or hobbies did you neglect while trying to fit into her world? Your mission: reclaim all of it, not to win her back, but to win yourself back. The man she ignored was performing for her approval. The man you're becoming doesn't perform for anyone. He simply is. Now we get to the advanced psychology. There's a difference between being bitter and being indifferent. Bitterness still gives her power over your emotions. Indifference takes that power back. Bitterness says, "I'm angry that you don't see my worth." Indifference says, "Your opinion of my worth is irrelevant to my reality." Strategic indifference isn't about being cold or cruel. It's about becoming so focused on your own growth and goals that her attention or lack thereof doesn't register as significant. Here's how this plays out practically. Social media. You're not posting things to get her attention or to make her jealous. You're sharing your life because you're genuinely excited about what you're building. Mutual friends, you're not asking about her or trying to get information. When her name comes up, you genuinely don't have much to say because you're focused on other things. If you see her, you're polite but not eager. You're friendly but not available. You treat her like you would any casual acquaintance, pleasant but unmemorable. Text communication. If she ever reaches out, you respond when it's convenient for you, not immediately. Your responses are friendly but brief. You don't try to restart deep conversations or ask questions that keep the dialogue going. The psychology behind this: when someone realizes they no longer have emotional leverage over you, it often sparks curiosity. Not because you're playing games, but because you've genuinely moved beyond needing their validation. The paradox: the less you need her attention, the more likely you are to get it. But by the time you get it, you won't need it anymore. This isn't manipulation, it's evolution. You're not trying to make her want you. You're becoming the kind of person who naturally attracts what he's worth. Here's the final piece of the puzzle, and it's going to change how you see every rejection for the rest of your life. What if being ignored wasn't punishment? It was protection. Think about it. If she had responded to every text, kept giving you attention, kept you in that comfortable zone of mixed signals and maybe relationships, where would you be right now? You'd probably still be the same guy, operating at the same level, waiting for her to decide if you were worthy of her time. Her silence forced you out of that comfortable mediocrity. It pushed you into this moment of transformation that you might never have reached otherwise. The bigger picture: sometimes the universe removes people from our lives not to hurt us, but to clear the path for who we're meant to become. The woman who ignored you, she was training wheels. And training wheels are supposed to come off eventually so you can ride at full speed. Your new perspective: every person who doesn't see your value is inadvertently pushing you toward someone who will. Every rejection is redirection toward your actual destination. But here's the catch: you only reach that destination if you use the redirection as fuel instead of dwelling on it as failure. The question becomes, are you going to spend your energy mourning the woman who couldn't see your potential, or building toward the one who will recognize your value immediately? Listen, I need you to understand something. The woman ignoring you right now is not your problem. Your reaction to being ignored, that's where your power lies. You have two choices in front of you. You can spend the next 6 months checking her social media, wondering what you did wrong and hoping she'll change her mind. Or you can spend the next 6 months becoming so focused on your own growth that her opinion becomes background noise. 6 months from now, one of two things will happen. Either she'll reach out because she notices the man you've become, or you'll have become the kind of man who attracts someone even better. But here's the beautiful part. By that time, you won't care which one happens because you'll be too busy living the life you built during her silence. Your mission starting today. Stop checking her social media immediately. Identify one area of personal growth you've been neglecting. Commit to working on that area for 30 minutes every day. Build a life so interesting that her lack of interest becomes irrelevant. If this message resonated with you, drop a comment with the words "I rise," because that's exactly what you're about to do. And remember, your silence will speak louder than any words you could send her. Let her feel the absence of a man who found his purpose. The version of you she ignored is gone. The version you're becoming, she'll never forget him. Not because you chased her, but because you stopped chasing anything that didn't build you. Now go build that man. Your future self is waiting.